Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Amax Games, episode 22 of our Learn to Code series featuring the game Brain Drain. For those of you who are new to the Amax Games series, this series is basically where we are working on creating a game, and we're working on creating a freemium game, a mobile game that is basically less predatory. In fact, we go as far as saying anti-predatory. And we're doing so with no coding experience, hence the term to idiots learn to code. I am Idiot Davie, Davie at amaxgames.com. You'll occasionally be on stream with John, my brother, or occasionally he'll be on his own stream. And we're currently trying to design not just one game, but multiple games for the mobile industry with no experience in using Unity, no experience in developing for mobile, and we're doing so assisted by ChatGPT or other AIs. So with that in mind, today I want to try and knock off some of this snagging list that's in front of us with our game. So first of all, we're going to try and check that all the buttons are consistent with the button type in the main menu. So we'll click on our game, cross, and we shall hit play, and we shall just wander about our screens, make sure everything's fine. Ignore the shop button for now, we created that in the last tutorial. It's not really doing anything as of yet. Okay, our game is running. Our music's playing. Buttons look fine there. Let's go into settings. Okay, the buttons in here now look consistent. And we go in here. And we can see something's definitely wrong with our accuracy there. Apparently we've only answered 18 questions. But total answered and correct answers, there definitely seems to be something there. I do want to expand on this to show more things. But everything seems to be fine in there. The buttons look correct. And the shop, as I say, the shop doesn't really... Oh, the shop's actually showing the settings as well at the moment. Okay, well, that's fair enough, I guess. Let's change that just now, because if I don't, I'm going to get very confused at a later date. So, did I create a shop canvas? I did create a shop canvas, okay. So is the shop canvas empty? Shop canvas is empty, right, fair enough. So let's go back to our original canvas up here. Go back to our shop button, and as we can see, it just opens show settings. Okay, so for the time being, I'm just going to switch that to not, no function. Okay, that solves that problem. So we can now go back to our snagging list, and that's something that we've obviously fixed during our last run. So let's just put a strike through this one. And boom. No, no, try again. Okay, and here, and just right through. Jink. Okay. So add banners are inconsistent. Banners don't automatically show loaded. It's supposed to. That seems to be an issue. What else is quite quick to knock in here? Left fuzzy matching. Check plus hint on physical device with ads on a device. Okay, and up stores, something we're going to look at later on. Okay, let's provide our add code and our, well, I actually have to open the code editor. So why do I have open tabs? Oh, there we go. Right. Obviously I know why I've got open tabs. I've opened them and forgot about them, but hey ho. We need to open our code editor, so we need to go into scripts and just open any of these, to be fair. I know we've had to open before jumping into our doodle. Okay. So we shall do our add initializer. And we'll copy this and we'll hand it over to ChatGPT and we'll just paste it in and see if it gives us what it says as a code view. Okay, so here is my add initial initializer.cs script. Okay. I'm using Grok. In fact, that's not Grok, that's ChatGPT. Ignore me. I do also have Grok open up the top, as you can see. Okay, thanks for sharing. Strengths, potential issues, reward ad tracking. Right now, reward ad tracking only flips to true when on-unit ads loaded fires, but doesn't reset if the ad fails during the show. Okay, yeah, I would agree with it. Interstitial handling, like rewarded ads, you're not tracking whether the interstitial is loaded before showing. Okay, may fail and yet loaded. You might want. Okay, so we need a load for that. Interstitial safety, advertise that as initialized is true. Bads failed to load earlier, e.g. bad internet, you might retry until something calls. Okay, you might add a retry with a delay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Banner reload on error. If on banner error happens, you just log. Some devs auto retry after a few seconds, since banners often fail due to temporary connection issues. Yeah, that makes sense. Cross-platform failback. If neither Unity underscore Android nor Unity iOS is defined, like in editor, underscore ID will stay null. You might want to handle that explicit for safe editing testing. Add frequency control optional right now. Show interstitial ad has no cooldown time or frequency cap. We want to prevent it from being spammed too often by adding a simple timer. Do you want me to update the script for you with those improvements? Or do you prefer a list of small patch snippets you can add yourself? Do you know what? I'm just going to have it rewrite it. Please show me the updated script info. As you can see, ChatGPT is definitely a lot faster at giving this information than Grok is. But ChatGPT is also more to the point in Grok as well. Grok does give you a lot of waffle. Swings and roundabouts, we've had code that ChatGPT has written that has actually failed miserably. And we've had code that that Grok has written that's fixed problems with ChatGPT's code. So this is again why I don't believe that you're ever going to be able to replace developers completely with AI. At least not at this stage in its life, simply because there's far too many issues with it. Excuse me. You need somebody who knows the code to be able to spot errors like this. Okay, so let's try this code. Before I do that, I shall push an update. Does it say how many files are edited? It doesn't matter. Updated UI to show UI to be consistent. Okay, and we shall check that in. We shall save our project. Let it check in. Sweet. Okay, we can go back here, copy all of our details from Unity Ads Manager into our code. So we are 218 lines. We're now 278 lines. Hopefully that's more consistent. It's now implemented the pause as well. That's actually pretty decent. If ad is showing, okay, one ad showing. Right, that seems fine. No error shown, so let's jump back to our code. this won't actually change unless testing a physical device, so we'll probably wait to do that testing at the end because we'll have to do a recompile, and that'll take several minutes. Just wait for that to try and catch up with me. And we can also give it our brain drain code and see if we can get a code review of that. That's the wrong code you just copied, you idiot. So I'll go back over here. Brain drain's up here now. Control E and Control C. Back in here now. Okay. This is my brain drain quiz. Plus this. Will this work? Because it's huge. Okay. Refactor brain transcript, a few runtime issues are spotted, plus some robustness / usability improvements. What do I change to high level? Remove the Unity editor. Nice top level script compiles for builds. Debug menus wrapped in if Unity editor and uses. Okay, fixed listener removal bugs. Added. Listener was added with lambadas. Is now stored in Unity action. Okay, don't understand that one either. You can remove and destroy, reduce redundant UI checks update. The add available coroutine now does heavier checks. Update only toggles the hint button interactability. Added a games played increment at the game start using your existing games played key constant. Hardened some null checks and small user interfaces. Safeguard play again button user interfaces. Avoid call and set active or null. Minor housekeeping to ensure player prefs.save and certain rights are avoided. Sorry, and avoid double updating scores UI calls when possible. Full updated script. Okay, so the only bit that I don't really understand is the Unity editor part. But okay, apparently. What's interesting is it's not telling me what's wrong with my code. It's literally just cleaning my code. So I've got a backup of this anyway, so let's try it. So we copy that and jump across. We were 1,231 lines. We are now 1,263 lines, so added lines to it. Okay, nothing really showing as an error. Let's save this. And jump back to our game. Give it a moment to do the recompile. Okay, so we're back in our game with no errors. Let's hit play to test it, because I can test the actual game itself. Okay, everything seems to be fine. Play around mode. Okay, structured query language. Solve for x. 5x minus 10 equals 15. So 5 times over 25 minus 10 is 15, yeah, okay. Got social media app and just real starts, that's Instagram. No idea, I would never have got that one. Okay, countries between France and Germany. What was the name of the dinosaurs park in Jurassic Park? What was the name of the dinosaur park in Jurassic Park? How many people are going to answer Jurassic Park? Wouldn't that be better named? What was the name of the island with the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park? What was the name of the process by which solid slabs are reacted into gas? Sublimation. Yeah, I would have got that one. Which island countries lie southeast of India? Sri Lanka. What was the name of the scientist who discovers the structure of atoms? Niels Bohr? Yeah. Which NBA team won the most consecutive championships from 1959 to 66? The Boston Celtics. Okay, cool. 22. Everything seems to be running fine there. Still have my unlimited hits. So, again. Okay, so I can stop that. So those code reviews seem to have went fine. To be fair, until we actually test this in a physical device, I don't actually know if the ads are any more consistent, what other things were on our snagging list to have a look at. So the reward was actually given the reward. It was given a hint. I was for some reason thinking it was a token, but that was me. Again, we'll double check it, but it will. It does appear to be doing that. Then up store stuff, I'm not looking at just now. Checking the plus hint in the physical device. I need to get better at the game in order to do that. Allow fuzzy match to be optional in settings, so we could do that. We could do that. Shall we do that? Okay. Cool. So, if you like, you can add a small tool/pop-up next to tell the player. A small toast/pop-up. User experience to tell players when they get a hint from an ad. Wire play again button to a play again function. It currently is enabled but not connected to this class. Convert this into a single from the service pattern for easy access to other scenes. Yeah, not so sure about that one. What was I going to look at? Fuzzy matching. Okay. Perhaps the fuzzy matching should be optional, or should be a tick box within the settings page. Do you think that is a good idea? Give a moment to think about that. I find it interesting, last time it gave me the brand new code. But it's not doing so this time. Player choice, strict versus forgiving mode. Access split helps younger players, knows what dyslexic typing difficulties, replayability, hardcore players can challenge and unrestricted. Okay. Implementation wise, add use fuzzy matching setting in the player press. Yep, okay, yep. And this way the code's adapts to different player preferences without changing the code logic. Do you want me to write in Rate you a drop-in patch, your brain drain quiz that includes the toggle logic plus a sample settings menu script for the checkbox. Okay. Yes, please rewrite the code. You do this. Okay. So that is not the full rewrite. I don't think. There's no way that's over 1,200 lines. Nah, definitely not. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Maybe it is. I don't think it is though. So I'll check add availability is the last part of it. It's what an idiot thing that it's done. Look, it's actually rewrote the Unity Ad Manager. It's not actually rewrote the fuzzy logic part. It's not wrote into the correct script. I'll put no. This should be in the brain quiz.cs, not. Okay, now it's asking again, so yes, you write the whole brain quiz.cs for me. My typing seems so much worse. It's unbelievable. That's not a full brain drain quiz.cs either. What's the best way to do this? Because it's not giving me the correct code. So it should be quite simple to place this in. So we'll use fuzzy matching. Okay. Sure, question and check answer. Open, close, 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 close. So I think I need void check answer. But do I not already have a check answer? I do, because it's massive if I recall correctly. So let's go back up here. Do, okay. So string equals blue answer dot string. Okay, so it's trimming that out. Correct answer equals answer current index. It's also trimming the answer. Bool is correct, yep. Using fuzzy matching. And look at all of the details that's missed out there. All of those details. So also that doesn't check if the question is correct. Incorrect. It is correct is either yes or no. But if you look, there's no. I suppose it's checking. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be checking anything there. Okay. Let's try again with Grok. That works because obviously this is getting to be a ridiculous sized script. Yeah, there seems to be an entire chunk missing here. Settings, score, cache, again. Okay. So if it is correct, so I suppose technically I can just change that one. So bool is correct. Just place this here. So instead of this one, it's just set up slightly differently. Do this. And then bool, if it's correct, would be the same. So I think that may actually have fixed it. What does Grok say anyway? Is Grok still thinking about it? Oh, wow. Okay, Grok just gave us a lot of feedback on it. Potential bugs are his perfect score bonus check is broken. In in-game you check if it's survival. If not, it's survival and score equals questions per round. To award bonus cash tokens per round. But score is the sum of points earned when freezing every jump round. Okay, yeah, that's correct. I have screwed that one up. If round mode questions per round is typically 10, get maximum score variable 22 hard for 30, it's impossible for score equals 10. That's all the questions are easy, 1 point. Okay, yep. Bonus never triggers unless, yeah, that would make sense. Okay, hint button visible in restart. In endgame you hide hint button.game object to the main hint button. In restart game you update hint button visibility. But that method only handles add hint button, add for hint button. Result, hint button stays hidden after restart. Suggesting restart game you add. Okay, so let's find our restart game. This is a code review. I'd intended to do one of these anyway, just hadn't intended to at this point. Restart game. Okay. So, yep, I'm kind of done with that one. Redundant get round questions call and set round mode and similar. Okay. Restart game calls it again if not as survival. Remove the call, set round mode, set survival mode, set hardcore mode. As restart game handles. Does restart game handle it? Start game. Okay. So is that saying remove it from here? That doesn't make sense. I think I'm misunderstanding it. Why does it keep jumping to ChatGPT? In set round mode. Okay, right, so I need to find the set round mode, because that could be a problem. Okay, if survival's false, or goes in, generate round question. And then restart game. Yes. However, restart game calls again if not as survival. So restart game. If not in survival, generate round questions. Yeah, it is correct. Yeah. Okay. In fact, you know what? Rather than do that, I'll just knock it out just now with a comment. Okay. Previous question reporting is set to and would run the question, but the first question is no. If user reports media after the first question before answering, it might report the current one incorrectly. Set previous question equals current question after checking the answer. Okay. Turn survival mode. If paused during a survival timer, includes if pause, but if the game ends while paused, coroutine might loop. Also, any time and reset and load time are not explicitly stopped to pause game. Okay. Current UI, duplication, UI score, UI, appends cache and tokens to score text, but update cache tokens sets the separate cache token text. Cache token text, probably obsolete. Control F. Oh, Control Z. Control Z. Okay. Cache token text. Cache token UI, cache token UI, cache token UI, cache token UI. Context. Oh, don't know if that's correct. So don't start, restart and restart game. If no, stopped an in-game result could run multiple if not stopped. Fix recent always stop. Then restart game before restarting it. Okay, that makes sense. So restart game, add coroutine. Don't really know where to put it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So stop it before it starts. That's maybe something to consider later on. But some missing. ED add manager show interstitial add is okay. From specific quick good handling. Suggestion improvement as mentioned. Correct answer perfect. Okay. Okay, so we've implemented some of them. Some of the easier ones. Yeah, I need to patch the perfect score. And show me the patched perfect score. Is it going to give me the whole script? Okay. Yeah, it's going to give me the whole script. So I'll give that a moment to tick through. Yeah, I get definitely a disadvantage of Grok when it takes so long to write this code, and it's not a bad thing because it does tend to write pretty decent code. Okay, so it made a lot more changes than the specific one that I asked it to. Oh well. Let's try it anyway. So we know how many lines were in it before. Let's find out how many lines are in it afterwards. So we had 1290 and we're at 1283, so it's shaved off about 7 lines. Okay. Oh, but of course that won't include the fuzzy match fix that I've just put in. Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. Okay. I shall need to re-implement that. That's annoying. So it was under check answer, wasn't it? Okay. So I'll go back to ChatGPT. Grab this from our is correct. So we just commented it out last time. And then place that in there. And we also had to add this one up the top. Use fuzzy matching. I'll actually check though, because use fuzzy matching could actually be there. Because it was put in before I put that fix in. Use fuzzy. Yeah, okay. No, use fuzzy matching isn't there. Okay. So I need that in the start line. No, and there is not a place to put it. Why is that not working? That's not working because it's inside start edit. So I need to put it somewhere like there. Yeah, that works. Oops. That works. Okay. So I've added our fuzzy matching back. That should hopefully work. Still need to implement this into the stats page. Okay. Okay, that's sweet. 1300. Oh, I'm in a date. That was already in there. So let's just go back and take it out. So yeah, there's a reason this is called 2 edit learned code. Even though there's only one edit that's on it now. Okay, that's been done. So next step would be to add this to the settings page. So I'll go back here and I'll tell it to add the settings menu script. Okay, my settings. I'll go at my settings menu because I have a settings menu script. At least do I? I do. This is my settings manager.cs. And we add the fuzzy match toggle to this script. I like it when ChatGPT does this and shows you the new lines. I don't like the fact it uses UI code though, to be fair. Okay, let's copy that. So we are 213 lines, Control A and Control V, 229. Quiz manager dot zero logic. Why is quiz manager? Okay. So the import's not working. So how do I fix that? Should it be shouldn't it be something like that? Private.e ads manager. Oh, let's copy this in here and call it brain drain quiz. Brain drain quiz as brain drain quiz. Okay, does that work if I nuke this off now? No, that's because this should be quiz manager. Capitals. It's still not working. Okay, so if I go back to brain drain quiz, go down to use fuzzy matching. It's public. There's no reason why I can't find it. Try this. Let's try this. So I'll go over our settings manager. Okay, and I'll be love how wrong it has been in this one. So shouldn't be something like if using control to set it properly like I suggested earlier. You do not need silence field. Okay, you can just call okay. Okay. Since you want this to be global and applies to the whole thing, it's probably recommend keeping static. Okay. You know, I'm okay with it being static. But notice it ignored my question. Okay, so let's just say and you don't need to say all these things, you can just call that's not making sense. Do you want me to show the exact updated brain drain quiz which using fuzz magic static? It works when your settings manager is written. No, I don't, because your settings manager code is not working. This is when it gets frustrating. I thought I had the solution, but apparently I didn't. Okay, that's already there. Okay, let's take this out then. Let's see what it says. No, because that's pretty much as a magic toggle dot. So it's not picking up the quiz manager at all, right? So nah, that's not of any use. So I'm just going to Control Z out of this and go back to something that isn't ChatGPT. Okay, so here's my original settings manager. So let's go back to our guru and we'll do a new chat. I have brain drain quiz.cs and I have, that's interesting, why is that still shown like that? Is it just because it's not refreshed? Is it just because it's not refreshed? Fair enough. Right. So I get brain drain quiz and I have settings manager. I want a toggle added to settings manager for the fuzzy to enable or disable the fuzzy match option in the brain drain. What's yes? Okay, but that only checks whether fuzzy match is enabled. Okay, apply fuzzy matches there. Okay, let's try copying this. See if it breaks. Okay, no errors. Let's save that. And go back to here, wait for it to compile. Okay. So we need to go to our settings page. Okay, I'll just disable this one for the time being. Okay, and I will enable our settings panel. And I want what I want. I want a text mesh pro above the test sound effects. So what I'll do is I'll just duplicate difficulty text. I'll change that to, say, fuzzy mode. Okay, and we'll call it fuzzy text. Okay, and we shall move that down under, above the test sound effects. Okay, and then I shall duplicate the mute sound effects toggle. I'll bring it down under fuzzy text. No, not that far under fuzzy text. And that's sitting above fuzzy text. Down there, and I'll rename it fuzzy match. No, what's it called? Fuzzy. That's it. No, fuzzy toggle. Will do. Okay, expand that, and the label should be the match allowed. Okay. So we now have our fuzzy toggle. Save that. Let's hide our settings panel. Let's go back to our canvas. We enable our main canvas. And we need to go to our settings manager. Okay, apparently we don't have an app manager loaded anymore. That's interesting. So let's load our ad manager in there. For some reason that's disappeared. The fuzzy match toggle can be fuzzy toggle. And it can go in there. Okay. So if I go and play now, hopefully this doesn't crash. Okay, that seems fine. So into our settings, fuzzy mode is there. If I tick it and then close and go back into settings, it remains ticked. So I'll close that again. Actually, I wonder if these buttons aren't matched. The text's wrong. The text should be white, and there should be a different size. But its stats is the same. Yeah, okay. It's fine. That's a quick win for us. It's a quick, easy win for us. Okay, so let's go back to play it again, and we'll try round mode. Okay. So round mode. So if it's on, I should be able to like throw a space in here and still get it. Okay. And the quit button isn't there. And that's because I put it in pause. Okay, pause and quit. That's fine. Which doesn't work. Oh God. For some reason it isn't working. Okay. So now we play it again. Go into settings. Turn off fuzzy mode. Click close. Go into round mode. Just throw a space in here somewhere. That didn't work. Okay, something's still wrong. Fuzzy mode must still be on. Pause and main menu. Oh wow, I'm getting deafened by music. So the fuzzy toggle okay, let's go back into settings manager. Okay, add fuzzy match, apply fuzzy match. Okay, so fuzzy match should be fine. Try fuzzy match, that's only editing. Once applying fuzzy match, it's actually saving the change. Okay. So can I just do debug dot right, debug dot log it's going to be, and so dollar here, then that, and then a semicolon. Okay, I'll just put player prefs. A fuzzy match, we'll call it. And then I need to put curly brackets around this. If I recall correctly. Okay. Save that. So it should debug.log now. So fuzzy match when value changed, it goes to apply fuzzy match. Apply fuzzy match basically saves it to player prefs. Okay. So let's try that again and see if the logic shows. Okay, so go to round mode and actually go to pause and then the menu, get deafened music, go into settings, fuzzy match should be off, close that, survival mode, round mode. Okay. Right, so it's still, fuzzy mode looks like it's still enabled. Okay, so stop. So fuzzy mode is still enabled. And if I just go to that, it's changing things. So brain drain, use fuzzy matching. So it grabs fuzzy matching. If it equals 1, doesn't seem to make sense. Continue, what I'll do then, let's go back to settings manager and grab this debug log. Apply mix effects. Okay. So now when I change it, it should show me something in the debug log. Fuzzy match is 0. Fuzzy match is 1. So wouldn't it be fuzzy match is 0? Okay, so is this reversed? Is that what it is? So if I now do round mode with fuzzy match with it ticked. Oh, that's not gonna work. Let's try that again. So if we go into settings, fuzzy match allowed is on. So I've closed this and go to round mode. I'm not going to be able to change that answer. Just throw a space or something in here. No, fuzzy match is still on. Okay, so go back into our brain drain quiz. Okay. If use fuzzy logic matching is correct, equals else is correct equals. Okay. So I'll do debug log fuzzy matching is equals. Okay, and throw a dollar in front of that, and a semicolon on the end. Okay, and save this. So it now should tell me when the question is clicked. Okay, round mode. So round mode clicked, that's fine, that's something to take out. Click submit. Fuzzy match settings equals true. Okay. So if I now go to pause, main menu, settings, turn that off, click close, go back into round. Doesn't really matter whether I get it right or wrong, I suppose. Fuzzy match settings is true. Okay, so something's either wrong with loading this, or it's wrong. Something else is wrong with it. Okay, so it's fine. Do that. Control A, Control C. Actually, let's look back at the brain drain quiz. Add a new line in here. Okay, and I'll have it check to use fuzzy matching. Okay, now I'm going to click play. Okay, try hitting play again this time. Hopefully it works. So if I go to Tools, Debug, Player Prefs, fuzzy match is currently set to -1. Okay. So is fuzzy match not being loaded? Is that what the problem is? Although to be fair, go in here, change that, close, and then do that again, see if it's changed. Okay, it's not. So fuzzy match has not changed. So if we get in round mode and do the same thing, fuzzy match is set to -1. Okay, so fuzzy match has not been changed. That doesn't really then explain why fuzzy match is constantly turned on. Okay, so it's testing if it's set to 1. If it's not set to 1, then it's enabling it. So the problem is either with the loading or with the saving. So do this. Okay. I can install. Let's use fuzzy. That is always from 1. Any ideas? Okay. Is there a better way to log it? Okay, so okay, am I building it wrong as the default pref thing? Did I screw it up with the update? It's all set to -1. So string key, default value, +1 overload. Okay. So if I change this to 0 then, does that work? Okay, so download. Download. Okay. Submit. So fuzzy matching is set to true. But if the default was 0, so what I'll do is I'll give it the full code and see if it helps. I like to think about it. And I'll come back here. Well, that's doing that. I'm going to pay the water bill. Back in a moment. Okay, and I'm back. So that's your start method after quiz database manager is ready to detect the correct or invalid values. Okay, so let's implement that then. So after quiz database manager. After quiz database manager. I just want to wait a minute. Default value. I don't want the default value to be. I don't want the default value for it to be on. I want the default value to be false. Okay. What else does it say? Okay, so let's see. Copy this. We use fuzzy matching is changed in settings manager. Let's yes. Let's see if it can work that one out. Oh, okay. Recommended fix. To resolve the issue, you need to use player prefs key using the fuzzy matching crossword script. So what's it called? It's called use fuzzy matching in this, isn't it? No, it's called fuzzy match key. It's use fuzzy matching, wasn't it? Wrong one. Okay, so use fuzzy matching. Damn, that's a lot of different code. Okay, right, so we know the problem. Right, wrong key. So use fuzzy matching will be your key. So we'll go into the settings manager. Get to use fuzzy matching. Oh, that's right. Control Z. Here's fuzzy matching key set. Okay, there we go. Save that. I think this was because I jumped between the two different AIs, so this is actually a self-inflicted problem. Let's try that. I do need to edit the right player press part. No, used fuzzy matching is actually fine on that one. So I can change that back to -1. Okay, I can save that. Oops, and then we can jump back in it again. And we can try again. Okay. So let's try again. Play. Okay, settings. Fuzzy matching is off. So I'll close that. Go into rend mode. Katy Perry, so I'll just throw a space in here or something. Incorrect. Awesome. So I'll go to pause, go to main menu, go to settings. That's interesting. Fuzzy matching is now shown as on. So how did fuzzy matching get enabled? Let's try rend mode again. Again here. Fuzzy matching set to false. Interesting. So menu, settings. So let's set it on. Close. Rend mode. Now we've got the opposite problem. Right. Okay. So let's go back to our testing. Okay, so go to settings, go to tools, debug, player prefs, fuzzy match is 0, turn that on. Fuzzy match is still shown as 0 for some reason. Do tools, debug, player prefs, fuzzy match is 0, interesting. So if I do that again, and do tools, debug, player prefs, Oh, hold on a minute. So fuzzy matches equals 0. Turn it on. And tools, debug, clear press. Fuzzy match equals 1. Okay. So fuzzy match has now been set in the settings correctly. So let's change the start to show whether fuzzy match is enabled or not, and remove the forcing fuzzy match from start. That we added for testing purposes. So we can take this out. Let's save that. Wait for it to load. Actually, we'll change this to add it in here. So it shows as soon as you start. So play. So fuzzy match is turned on, so we're in round mode. Fuzzy match settings is true. Okay. And then stop. And then I play again. And I'm going to settings. Turn the music down because I just accidentally clicked save defaults. Socket, so I'll turn it on, I'll turn it off, turn it on. Shouldn't that be the opposite? Right, so if I do, so fuzzy match equals 0, close round mode, fuzzy match is true, okay. So I do pause, main menu, settings, interesting, that didn't update that at all. Close round mode, fuzzy match equals true. Right, okay, why is that the case? Okay, let's try AI built into Unity. Okay, so I want to attach my brain drain script. I want to attach my settings manager, and I want to attach my settings panel. Okay, fuzzy match is not changing like it is supposed to from the settings logo. See what it says. The benefits of this is it's built into Unity and it's based and trained in Unity's documentation. The problem is it's not quite as genetically widespread to think about all of the solutions. It's only thinking about very specific ones, so you have to be a lot more accurate and try to describe things to it to get assistance from it. I understand why it's free at the moment because it's very underwhelming. So give that a moment to try that. It's also extremely slow compared to the other ones. It also has a habit of just crashing out on you and not actually giving you any answers as well. Probably another reason why it's free at the moment. Apparently it's almost ready. Man, I can went to the pub across the road and have a couple of pints in the time it's taken to do this. Also, it does have a habit of getting to this part almost there and then, as I say, bailing out and not actually showing you anything. I don't actually know what the exclamation mark's about. Too many attachments. 3 attachments. Exactly too many. while we're waiting on that, I'm just going to move it off screen so I can keep an eye on it. We will go into our canvas and we'll click on one of the buttons, and our buttons are 790 by 120 with white text. So let's hide them, hide our canvas. So 790 by 120, and go to our buttons here. So Control A, 790, 120. Should probably turn these on so you can actually see what they're like. Oh, okay, I have no idea what I was editing there then. Because it will not let me change the sizing, right? But that's fine, I can still change the text size. So let's just expand the text field and change it to white. There we go. Just to level these up while we're waiting. It's still thinking on the other monitor. In fact, I think it's actually failed. Come on. Okay. So we've got the fuzzy match toggle. Got our label, and we should make it white as well. Okay, and same with mute sound effects toggle. And the mute music toggle. Mute music toggle. Why? For some reason I get the label for it. It's not giving me the color options. Well, that's interesting. Oh, look, it's just, there we go. It was just hidden. Go. Okay. So, interesting that some of these are still wrong. Let's fix these again. Okay, and now we can hide our stats panel again. And we need to bring up our no, that's our main menu. It's not that one. It is stats. Stats panel. Which apparently I've just called canvas one. No, that's not true. There we go, stats canvas, can't see it from looking at it. Okay, to be fair, it's just the close button need to worry about. So I'll just open that, open the close stats, open the text, and change it to white. Okay, that is cool. So we can go back to our original canvas, we can unhide that. And we can try and play our game and make sure the settings are all tied in. I'm approaching the end of this stream. I've not managed to fix this fuzzy matching. It's not very good. Okay, settings. Yep, they're all good. And stats. And they're all good. Okay, awesome. And event mode. Fuzzy matching equals true. Group pause, main menu. Settings. Fuzzy match is shown as enabled. Right, so when changing fuzzy match and after going in there, nothing actually happens. Okay. So I don't have fuzzy match key. Why don't we hard code it? Should we hard code it? I think we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to. So this right up to the comma. Get the settings manager. So as I get in, can just delete that, and then take that out. Okay, and on the change, value changed like this now. Okay. So it removes all listeners, including the fuzzy match one. Change that. So instead of give it int, it should be set int. Okay, and the same on this one. So it should be hard coded now. Okay, so we can take out fuzzy match key because it's not needed. Okay, and fuzzy match here. Okay, let's save that. Now we have 2 errors. Okay, so save the default. And then debug. Sweet. Okay, let's give that a moment to compile and try again. Inside settings, fuzzy match is set to 1 and turned off. Set to 0 and turned on. So that should mean set to 0 should mean that fuzzy match is turned off, even though that's got a tick in it. Right, so we'll go in there, got our round mode. It says fuzzy matching set to true. Okay, so do pause main menu, do quit and play again. And go to settings and turn off fuzzy matching. Close, do round mode. Fuzzy matching is set to false. Yay! Okay. So pause. Again. Doesn't work. Main menu. Settings. Fuzzy matching is re-enabled. Right. Okay, so fuzzy matching. I think there's still an issue there. I think there's something. When it goes back to the main menu, it's resetting settings. So it is. So let's go back here. Mod file buttons same. Add banners are inconsistent. Banner don't okay. Allow fuzzy matching to be optional in settings. So we've done that. However, we do want to have check why settings reset when returning to main menu from doing. Okay. So that's something else to check. We're about to hit the 2 hour mark here, so I can go for a little bit longer. But probably not too long. Again, I don't want these to be epic long videos. I want to try and keep them around the 2 hour mark if I can. I might do multiple streams of 2 hours to be fair in a day, but I do try and keep them down to that. Difficulty ratio slider is probably the next thing to put in. Okay, but let's go back to a guru and see. Well, I've hit my limit for ChatGPT. It's not really a surprise. So, a new chat. Okay, can I copy my files to it? Let's open something up and double check. Okay, so open file location. I'm on a different one at the moment. Bear with me. Assets and scripts. Okay. So we need to give it. In fact, I'll close down ChatGPT for now. Okay, go with Grok. And we will give Grok our braindrain.quiz unsupported text encoding. Okay, let's have a look. So I need to give it drop quiz. So can close this off. Okay, and I can give it settings manager. And main menu controller. Okay. When I exit the game to main menu from the pause menu, it seems to reset some of the settings, including music volume and fuzzy match logic. Now can I start this? See what it says. It's going to take a while because there's quite a bit of code there. And like I said earlier on, oops, come on, let me come. This just completely bailed on me. Didn't tell me a darn thing. So yeah. Well, Grok's having a think about that. Let's try something else inside the assistant, shall we? So, just remove these just now. So I'll clear all. Shortcuts. Ask about Unity to start a shortcut, write scripts with a dedicated code engine, or run commands in the editor. Can you see why my music does not play when we change? When I change from the main menu to the game. So we'll ask it. It'll probably bail again. Again, it's really not that reliable at the moment. While it's doing that, we'll have a peek back at Grok. Nope, Grok's still having a think. Not a surprise, that was a lot of code to dump in on it. See, I don't get this. You've got access to the full code. Why don't you just tell me? That doesn't really help because I've pretty much got the do not destroy on load. So I have. Because if we click play, move the assistant out of the way. Click play again because it failed. You can see Do Not Destroy on load. We have Settings Manager and Music Manager. And I don't know which one is which. Actually, maybe it can tell me. So if I do this, try this again. You can see the Do Not Destroy on load. So if I go into round, it copies both music and settings manager across, but they're not playing. But if I then go to pause and main menu, they appear, but the music starts playing really loud. I don't know about that one. So I think that one might be for ChatGPT tomorrow, since I can't actually upload the CS files directly to here. Ah. Okay, so does this give me a new settings manager that works? So what we'll do is we'll do a added fuzzy logic toggle text UI color. We'll check this in. Okay, and we'll go back here and we'll grab our new, try this again. That's my code. So we'll grab new settings manager. So we're 238. That's taking a lot out of that. That's taking a lot out of that. So what the heck is it taking out? That's 50 lines. Let's take out the serialized fields. It's no longer setting the audio source. Okay, I mean, I've created a backup, so maybe that's what I need. So let's add in the serial fields into main menu settings. Why would I care about bringing the menu settings? Okay, so that's a new script. Okay, so what's a new script? That's interesting. I mean, I'll try it. Okay. Okay, so it's asked if I have a music manager script, which I do. Yeah. So I'll put here is my music manager. .cs. Oh, we're getting side-by-side responses. Wow. Um, I think I prefer this one. Okay, so is that giving me a new music manager? Okay. So we were 76, now 82, so it's expanded this one a little bit. So let's see that. Let's go across here, and we shall see if it works. Come on. Go. So let's click play. So sound sounds fine. So we've got round mode. No sound. Okay, pause, main menu. No, exact same problem. Exact same problem. Okay, so I think the music one's just going to be a pain in the backside. I really do. I really, really do. Okay, so this was another session that's a bust. Didn't really get much done. And fuzzy logic has been added, but it's not added correctly. It's not working correctly. Music I didn't manage to resolve. Rewards and ads I'll test offline. But yeah, not a good showing, to be fair. You know what I should probably actually do? It might make me feel like I'm actually managing to change things. So do Control C, move this up here, paste these in. We'll take off the strikes now. So I can now take these out. So instead of 30 issues, we've got 14 issues. Got to show, cut these ones out, move them up here. Cut these ones out, and then move them up here. Cut this one out, and move it up here. And then we'll take these, and we'll cut them out. And then we'll go up here, and paste it in here. And remove the strike through. And we've got 8 issues currently shown. Okay, so with that in mind, thank you for tuning in for this one. I don't know when I'll next be back. I'm kind of a bit fatigued. That's why there's been 5 days since the last stream, because this is the creating the store. This is all really difficult work, and as you can tell, ChatGPT and Grok basically weren't that helpful with these. I think what I have to try and do is upload some of the files to them as a whole to Grok, not to Grok, to ChatGPT, and have it try and assist. In fact, what I'll do, just before I actually cancel this stream, before I actually finish this stream, let's grab my brain drain .cs. Let's try a different UI, different AI. Let's try DeepSeek. Let's see what it says. Okay. See what it says for code review. Also see if it will let me upload the files to it. Okay. Lots of tips here, but I don't actually understand any of them, but that's possibly my lack of knowledge more than anything else. Okay. So let's see if we can upload files to DeepSeek, shall we? Let's close this down. Okay. So we have c:/users /Davie / brain drain /assets /scripts. Okay, let's go in here. So let's try and group them all by the C# scripts. I doubt it'll let me, but let's try and feed it the entire game. No. Smurfs, man. I need to get my game out there so we can afford a new mouse. Okay, up to 50 files per chat. Here's the full game code. Input system enhancement. Don't get the input system enhancement one. No, don't want fallback questions. Don't want the localization just now. That's something I might consider later on. I don't have analytics enabled at the moment. That's something I might consider though. Object pulling for created objects. No, I don't think that's an issue. Code organization refactoring. Enhanced error reporting. Okay, I'm considering using crash analytics actually, or something similar. Handle ad availability more gracefully. Okay, right. So, yeah, I think I'm really struggling with the music side of it. I have to admit. We will deal with that in the next one. So, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.